You call a timeout to kind of get things going. You call a play, and they can't get the ball in bounds. Credit the Clipper D.
He might have drawn up his best play of the night.
Yes.
They don't even get to run it.
But I'll show you how to coach. Here comes Chris Paul. The lob. The jam! Oh, what a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan!
Look at Blake. Look at the bench. Lamar Odom walks all the way down to the other end of the floor with almost a sheepish grin on his face. I want to see it again. This could be as good as anyone we saw from Blake.
Absolutely. That's as good as anybody anywhere.
And Brandon Knight thinking, why did I try and jump for that one? Are you kidding me?
That is something, folks.
Tell me that won't be #1 of the night on everybody's list.
Welcome to Lob City, ladies and gentlemen. And DeAndre puts a cherry on the sundae with free throw going down. The Clippers by 22. Charlie Villanueva is in. Foul's going to be called on Chris Paul out of the court. CP3 picks up the foul, his first. I'm telling you, folks, can't get tired of seeing this. Oh. Just pick an angle.
Have you ever seen, Ralph, a left-handed person throw a ball down with the right hand? Look at that, Mark.
Well, the last home game, you and Jamal brought down the house with that dunk combo. What'd you think of what DJ did here in the first half?
It was unbelievable. I didn't even know what to do. I've never really seen a dunk like that in person, so it was incredible.
Kudos from Blake on DJ's dunk.
That was some play.
There aren't a lot of dunks anymore that I will see that get me to react as a fan when I'm sitting at home. The first time I see it, where you jump up and go, oh my goodness. That was one of those moments.
No.
And you know, when you look at the replay and all the different angles of it, a couple things stand out. Number one, there's one angle that catches it. His forehead is several inches above the rim. Secondly, where he jumps from, his right foot is on the dotted line, a 2-footed jump. And then finally, where the ball is when it hits his hand, the distance to the rim, it's actually incredible to me that he even could get the ball to the rim as far out as he caught it. Not to mention the fact there was a live human being in between him and the rim in Brandon Knight.
I would tell you that I would give it an 8. I wouldn't give it a 10 because it was against Brandon Knight, a guy that's almost a foot shorter than him, for crying out loud. But the length, the elevation on the dunk, the amount of length he was away from the rim, to time it the way that he did, to just, when you look at it in slow motion, the way he contorted his body and just measured it and yammed it home the way that he did. And then to see Lamar Odom's reaction, to see Chris Paul's reaction, to see the reaction of his teammates, his players, all of that stuff. I mean, I think it resonates profoundly, and you've got to give credit where credit is due. It's not like DeAndre Jordan can't dunk. It's not like he doesn't have elevation when he's dunking. It's not like he's not an incredible athlete. His biggest problem is his free throw shooting. Dunking is not his problem. I've often said they're the greatest show since Showtime. And when I talk about dunking, you notice I never just say Blake Griffin. I always throw DeAndre Jordan into the equation, because what he did, he does against anybody. Anybody that's in his face, he'll dunk it on anybody. It's just that poor little Brandon Knight was in his path this particular game last night. But I'd give it an 8 because even though it was against a smaller guy, the elevation, the pose, the contorting of the body, the whole bit, it was just beautiful to see. But I can't give it higher than an 8 because it was on the miniature Brandon Knight as opposed to a Tim Duncan, a Dwight Howard, or somebody like that.
I go back to the 10 for me, a couple of things. Number one, that gotta also remember, that's his opposite hand. That's his opposite hand. Okay, that's not easy to pull off. And secondly, the reaction of his bench tells you all you need to know. On a team that has seen Blake Griffin regularly give us these type of moments, I don't recall ever seeing their bench react the way that they did on this dunk. And they've got a perfect view of it because it's right in front of their bench. But look at the way those guys come onto the court. 6, 7 guys jump off the bench. They're running onto the floor. That tells me all I need to know. When NBA players are that blown away by something they see on a team that's got Blake Griffin on it, that's a 10 to me. I think DeAndre Jordan deserves it.